My name is Lydia, and I'll be taking you through this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. And for this webinar, we are just going to discuss and also try to understand what SiteScan does. And SiteScan is also one of the major products of Esri that assist us in drone imagery, in processing, that's from managing, processing, and also to analyze the data. So just to run through, we are going to talk about the imagery platform. So just to understand where is this coming from, how you can be able to obtain the data, and also to run through the end-to-end drone workflow from how you can be able to utilize this SiteScan for ArcGIS in planning, in processing, and also to be able to share your data. So I mean, to share your results. So you can be able to share maybe with your colleagues, or also maybe for reporting purposes, you can be able to utilize that. Then to understand also the best practices, and afterwards to do some demonstration using this platform or product. So for the imagery and remote sensing, this is a comprehensive imagery platform that can assist you to be able to do map production. And map production here, you can utilize different products. So for our case, we are going to discuss about the SiteScan. Then also we have the drone to map, whereby it's also a software that also can assist you to do some analysis, visualization, and also image management. Then afterwards, you can also create a map from auto mapping, that is a 2D imagery, DTM, DSM generation, pixel editing, and also to create a stereo feature capture. Maybe if you have an maybe you've utilized, let's say, an RTK. The next one is analysis and AI. And here it means that you can be able to utilize this product in raster processing, that is imagery processing, and afterwards to do some analysis, let's say spectral indices, to do classification, segmentation, object segmentation. We have also the deep learning and change detection. So those are just one of the some of the analysis you can be able to do. So once you've done the analysis, you can be able to visualize the imagery analysis that you've done. And here you can be able to visualize with ArcGIS Pro, which is also one of our software. Then you have, you can also visualize in ArcGIS Online, and also in motion imagery and oriented imagery, once you have the extensions of this imagery software. Then the next is to image management, and here image management is just to understand what do you have, or rather what do you want to gain. Do you want to get a tiled imagery out of it? If it's an image cube, if it's a dynamic imagery, what do you want to get out of the data that you have? Then you can also be able to have different type of content with different formats from different platforms. If it's maybe the type of drone you have, we have different formats that you can be able to get, or rather utilize this platform on it. So to move further, so also you can also try to understand why drones this important, and this is because they have, or rather fill, a critical gap in imagery needs. And let's say, for example, you want to do some spatial analysis, so you can utilize the drone to collect data, and this drone is much more cost effective as compared to maybe if you are using satellite imagery. Then also it's very quickly, you can be able to get data quickly from it as compared to the satellite imagery. Also, you can also be able to do more temporal analysis from the temporal resolution. That is maybe if, let's say, you are you want to maybe take a look and see the farm inputs, how the harvesting of maybe a certain type of crop production, how it's going on. So you can be able to take different photos and also different images from time to time, so that you can be able to do analysis out of it. So as compared to, let's say, satellite imagery, whereby you just have to work with what it's already there. But for this, if you want to go to take the photos from the field, you can just do so as quickly as possible. Then also just to mention, you get that there is also the trade-off whereby you can get that you can be able to have a drone maybe specified for the company, as compared to maybe when you have to wait so much time maybe to collect, or rather to process the imagery data and so on. So for the ArcGIS drone solutions here in Esri, we have two types of drone solutions that can assist you. So depending on what you want to achieve, and also depending on where you are working from. So the first one is the ArcGIS drone to map, whereby it's a based drone imagery processing that can assist you to be able to do these processes. So it's just once you get maybe the data from your drone, you can be able to do some analysis and processing of the data. Then afterwards, you can be able to publish to ArcGIS Online or any other, or let's say if at all you have ArcGIS Enterprise, then also you can be able to utilize offline. So if you don't have data, if you don't have internet, you can just be able to utilize that. But now coming to site scan, you realize that now the difference is the site scan is the cloud-based drone imagery. So you can just log in to the site scan on your phone or any type of gadgets that you're utilizing, and try to utilize this software effectively. So first, there's the end-to-end solution, whereby you can do the flight planning. Once you finish the flight planning, you do some processing and management, then you can visualize, and afterwards be able to share and collaborate. So once to sharing, maybe you can utilize the ArcGIS Online Enterprise, or also just to download the results imagery that you are working on. So just to jump into the site scan for ArcGIS, and this is as I had mentioned earlier, it is a cloud-based platform whereby you can be able to do all these types of processing. So regardless of where you've gotten your images, you can be able to just take them and be able to do some analysis afterwards. Then processing, then some analysis afterwards. And if at all maybe you are maybe in the field and you want to do maybe real time, do flight planning, do all do the flight planning first, then do all the maybe processing of these imageries, then afterwards do maybe sharing. You can just be able to do that. So regardless of where you are, you can just do all these type of activities and all that type of workflow in just in a blink of an eye. So for the site scan for ArcGIS, we have different types of data, that data results that can be derived from your data that is in images. And the first one is the automosaic. And automosaic, this is just an auto-rectified imagery, which can assist you. Let's say if I told you want to take a look at let's say elevation, or maybe depending on the type of sensor you are using, you can be able to derive these 2D features from it. The next one is the elevation data, and you can derive this elevation data from let's say if it's an DEM, if it's a DTM, you can be able to visualize. So DEM is the digital elevation model, and it focuses on X, Y, and the location. Then the DTM is the terrain model. Then the next one is the point cloud, and the point cloud here, this is that they're just set of points with X, Y, and Z, and placed in a 3D scene. So you can be able to just color each type of point so that you get maybe the accurate dimension. If at all, maybe if it's a forest, you want to analyze maybe the crown cover of all these type of maybe trees. You want to take a look and see the height, the terrain, and also maybe the small type of trees inside the forest. You can be able to utilize these point clouds to assist you in your analysis. And also we have the 3D mesh, and the 3D mesh here is a collection of all the photos, but most necessarily, just to highlight it, it's a fly through whereby it's a more of a virtual reality of the 3D. So it can assist you to just take a look and see what is happening, but if you want to concentrate more on 3D, you can do maybe analysis on 3D, but this just assists you to be able to just check on how the surface and also how the whole data looks like. So also others to mention, we have the 360 panoramas, whereby you can be able to get that, let's say, for inspection of your data, and also we have also the thermal orthomosaic, maybe to just take a look at the temperature of maybe an area of a region, or either even if it's a house, or a building, what is the temperature and all that. Then we also have, if you have now gotten the data, you can be able to do inspection on it, and that is in ArcPro, and also maybe to point out in this site scan for ArcGIS. So to highlight on the benefits to the users, as I had mentioned earlier, it reduces capture time, whereby it saves surveying time. If you have the drone, you can be able to collect the data, then afterwards do some processing and analysis just in a step-by-step and very quickly. Then it also enhances the data accuracy, and this is because it has you can be able to automatically pick the ground control points of your area of study, and it can pick up to 0.75 accuracy. Then also it reduces the operation cost. So let's say, for example, you have collected the data maybe far away from maybe your workstation. You do not necessarily have to go back and forth, maybe for processing and storage abilities, for storage, but you can utilize these capabilities for just to process faster and also to be able to store very fast. The next one is improve safety and productivity. So, and this improves most importantly, the crew safety measures, whereby you can take a look at the pre-flight checklist so that you ensure that you execute the flights and in a appropriate manner, and also to track all the operations. So if at all maybe something was missed, or maybe something happened while the drone was going on, you can be able to just come and take a look and see what was happening, or maybe where did it go wrong. Then the next one is the gain smart insights and analysis. And here now, as I had mentioned earlier, you can be able to track all the drone fleets, maybe where they went, from what angle to another angle, from what region to another region. Then also be able to generate inspection reports and generate different types of photos where you can be able to annotate, that is to maybe label and maybe write something from the data that you have. Then the last one, which is the most important part, is to collaborate effectively, whereby you can be able to collaborate with your team that is utilizing the capabilities of this site scan, to be able to publish, that is to share online in ArcGIS Online, and also to share in ArcGIS Enterprise. So the next one, we want also to understand the complete drone workflow. And here we first have to create, and creating here means you have to plan where you want to fly. You have to plan maybe the time you want to fly and who is going to fly, and that maybe does he or she has the licenses to fly. Then the next one, so once you have the data, you have to now process and manage and do some analysis. And now this is where you're going to use the site scan manager. Then afterwards, you can be able to share that data or the results that you've obtained, and through, as I had mentioned, through the ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise. So for this webinar, we are going to concentrate on the process to manage and also to analyze the drone imageries that we have obtained from the field. So let's go to the demonstration. All right, so now you will need to first have credentials to log into the site scan. And the site scan, for more, if you want to know maybe the licensing and all that, so you need to buy the license. Then also depending on maybe the number of licenses, or rather the number of members you want to maybe maybe you want to utilize, you can also mention there when you are buying this license. So once you do that, you can just log in to the platform, which is, I had mentioned it's online. Then you go straight to now home. So for home, this is how it looks like. If you have any type of data in, then you can take a look and see the project. So these are all the projects that we have been working on. Then you can also be able to just take a look and see the team members. So for our case, this the license is for accessing, for operating the drones, and also for just to be able to manage, let's say, the fleets. So the fleet of the drones, how many you have, and also you can have also other type of licenses whereby it's more of read-only users. Then so just to mention on the flight plan, because it's more of an online meeting, so we cannot be able to fly a drone right now. But so if you want to fly a drone, so this is how it looks, the pilot profile. So this is my name there. Then if you have any project, it will be shown. If you have ever flown a drone and how many hours, it will indicate there. Then if you have any document that maybe you want to showcase, maybe the time you're flying, you want to showcase maybe the how the weather was, or maybe the area that you are flying, so you can add that document there. Then if you have any the flight count, the flight hours will be showcased there. So the next is the activity. And now if you've flown if you've flown anywhere, it will have shown there the type of aircraft you're utilizing, the type of drone you're utilizing, the batteries you are utilizing. You should also place them there. So we will just go straight to the project. So once we view the project, so these are the projects, as I had mentioned, that we are working on, and we will concentrate on Kilani Dam. So Kilani Dam is a dam specifically in Kenya, that is in Machakos County. So I'll just zoom in so that you understand where it is. So it's in Machakos County, and this dam was built by the government of Kenya, so just to assist the people of Machakos in doing some small scale irrigation. All right, so this is where the dam is, and I have already uploaded the photos. So for us just to be able to take a look, we have 240 photos which we got from this area, and you can be able to see how that was taken up. So for that, if we want to maybe take a look and see the data that we have from elevation data, you can be able to outline and see if you want maybe a DCM or which I had mentioned, or a DTM, you can be able to explore here. So the contour, which comes automatically, you can be able to see the terrain of the area, and also you can also be able to see the elevation. So let me just close the contour first and the photos. Then we have the elevation model, which once you open it up, you can be able to just understand what is the elevation. So let's say, for example, there is a higher elevation of this area, and maybe there was a lot of maybe outflow of this water. Yeah, so you can be able to understand maybe where is the flow coming out from, and or maybe where is it coming in from. Then also just to understand how is the whole elevation data. Then you can also be able to take a look and see the hillshade of it. So the hillshade, so which maybe also can you can be able to understand where exactly is the quantification of the water, and also just to also understand how maybe how does that water flow get outside. So for our case, you can be able to see that this is usually the point that maybe there's the outflow of water and this side. So if at all maybe there are any maybe other construction measures to put in place, you can utilize that product. Then also just to mention another thing, so you can so once you come this side, we have a lot of different types of tools. So also I want to mention about the volume tool. So if you want to just to understand the volume of the water, just the general volume. So I won't go much into details, but you get that this will assist us to be able to know, to quantify the water that is in the dam. So if maybe you want to tell the community on how to utilize the water, and maybe why is the water maybe not clean and all that, you can just be able to do this very fast. So once you finish, you'll get it will generate here, and you'll be able to see the filling, and that is the cut, and also the fill, and the net volume, and also the area that the water is occupying. So also going to cloud, if you want now, if you want to generate point clouds, you can be able to just come and take a look and see, and also try to understand how does that in a 3D format. So in a 3D scene, how maybe the water looks like, or also how the dam looks like. And you can also be able to to see maybe if at all there are any other type of features, and maybe how do those features maybe appear in the area. So if maybe we want to take a look and maybe try to take a look and see the height of maybe a particular tree, or maybe a particular elevation from one point to another one, you can be able to utilize the height tool. Then once you do that, you can be able to get the data from that and maybe obtain or utilize that data. So now this can tell us the height of maybe where maybe I was where my cursor was moving from time to time. Then if at all maybe the height is much, maybe depending on the analysis that you're doing, you can be able to obtain this and maybe share with the decision makers in the area. So also another thing to mention, we have the timeline, and timeline here. So if at all maybe you have two, or when I was talking about the temporal resolution, if you have more than maybe two drawn images that you collected from one point to another one, you can be able to try to take a look and see maybe what is the differences, what is the what outcome has it played. So for our case, we only have one type of data that was taken, but if at all maybe you had two or different, you can be able to just utilize this temporal resolution in just a blink of an eye very quickly and understand what is the problem. If at all maybe there was an infestation in your crop production, you can just take a look and see what was happening. If at all maybe there was a dam that maybe broke out, and maybe the water affected other people, you can be able to just showcase and maybe see where was the problem before and after the event. So I'll stop there. So